What's up, kids? Technical. I'm back again with another video. Today I just wanted to talk about some of the pros that defeat the iPhone 13 Pro Max on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So pretty much this is a 2-year-old device. This just came out this year. With your iPhone 15 Pro Max, you're gaining a lot of things. You gain the USB-C charging capability. You gain a better zoom-in lens for photos. And then I can say I gained the dynamic islands, and then I gained having access to always on display, even though you already had dynamic islands and always on display on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Well, I did not pick up the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm coming straight from having an iPhone 13 Pro Max straight to the 15 Pro Max. So I feel like I am gaining a lot because, like I said, I'm gaining USB Type-C. I'm gaining the zoom in lens, better zoom in lens for getting super far away close-up photos. I'm gaining the dynamic islands, and I also get access to having a always on display, and I love that because over here you did not get always on display. So if you had notifications coming through, you'd have to always click your phone on just to see your notifications, and that was a little annoying. Now let's talk about build quality wise. I know a lot of people complain about a lot of the older iPhones being a little too hefty. I don't feel like they were too heavy. I'm gonna say this, I actually love the feel and the material of the 13 Pro Max better than this titanium. It feels too light to me. It feels too light. I want to say it feels fake. This phone feels fake because it doesn't have any kind of weight to it. I don't know. It doesn't scream premium like the iPhones that I'm used to having. It doesn't scream premium, but that's just me and my thoughts. This feels more better to me. It feels like this feels like you're holding some jewelry. This, I don't know. This is just, it's lighter, and you can tell the difference from having a 13 Pro Max to a 15 Pro Max. I just like the feel of the 13 Pro Max better than the 15 Pro Max. I'm not saying this is horrible. I'm not saying they should have never went to titanium. You know, I think it's all right that they wanted to change it up because people are always complaining about Apple not making enough changes. And I feel like this was a significant change, but I just like the way this feels in hand. But now this one doesn't, the 15 Pro Max does not cut into your hand like your 13 Pro Max would when you're holding it, because this is metal, this is titanium, so this is metal, stainless steel, whatever you want to call it. This is titanium. It's just lighter and a better feel, a better curve, it has better rounded edges than over here on your 13 Pro Max. And then with the 15 Pro Max, they also trimmed down the bezels a tad bit more than they did on the 13 Pro Max. I don't know if you can see that good with this video, and they both have screen protectors on it, but you get a little bit more bezel over here on the 13 Pro Max than you do on your 15 Pro Max. But the screen size is the exact same. Even though this may look a tad bit shorter, which is really not, you're still getting that big 6.7 inch display on both of these devices with your 120 hertz refresh rate. And I do not use 120 hertz on any of my devices that I have. Some people will be like, Kia, why would you buy this device and not use it to the full capacity? I don't know, I just don't want to. I feel like this 60 hertz is running just fine. It's not too slow, you know. I don't have to have my phone blazing fast. And I feel like the cameras are a lot different. They look a lot different when you set this one down on the table, it kind of rocks because I feel like the camera's a tad bit bigger. You can't see that on camera, but the cameras on here are a tad bit bigger than on your 13 Pro Max. They stick out on the 15 Pro Max a tad bit more. When you place your 13 Pro Max, it does wiggle, but not as much as it does with your 15 Pro Max. Even though this is a lighter body, the cameras still do stick out a lot more, or I don't know why. Just because your camera lenses are huge doesn't mean you have the best camera in the game. But that's just my thoughts. You both get the same kind of notification panels, so on and so on. Nothing has changed there. With your iPhone 15 Pro Max, you do get eSIM. So if you're a person that doesn't care for eSIMs, then I wouldn't recommend the 15 Pro Max or the 14 Pro Max, because the iPhone 13 Pro Max was the official last iPhone to get a physical SIMs tray, as you can see. Now, if you're over in some of the other countries, then they still do SIM card tray slots, but over here in the United States of America, for some reason they have gotten rid of that. But so far, Apple has been the only company to get rid of the SIMs tray and just use eSIMs. No other cell phone company has started it yet, and I hope no other cell phone company does, because I know a lot of people get a lot of they have a lot of problems when they are going to eSIMs and trying to switch over their SIMs card. Now, when I switched over from the 13 Pro Max to the 15 Pro Max with the eSIMs, coming from SIMs to eSIMs, I had no problem. All I did was sync my two devices together, and it brought up did I want to use this number on this device, and of course I hit yes, because the number on here was my main number and I needed that to go over here, and that worked out just fine. And then that leads me to this next thing. A lot of people ask me, Kia, how has your time been with using the eSIMs now? What do you do when you want to switch over to some of your Android devices? And I always come back with this. Me having the eSIMs does not bother me at all, because my main phone number is always going to be in an iPhone. The SIMs, when I had the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the SIMs never came out of this device, because this was the phone number that everybody knew to text me on, that had in my family, some of my friends, some of the people that I work with. And the SIMs that I would switch in between was on my Android devices, and I kept my Android devices as my secondary devices, but my iPhone is my main line. So that's why when I upgraded to this device, I made sure that I can get my phone number off of this phone transferred to this phone, and the phone number that came on this phone, I have it sent to this phone. Even though these two iPhones work simultaneously together, which is weird, because I'm not really using the 13 Pro Max really as a phone. I use it for recording every now and then, but not to make calls or text on. But I noticed that when I get text messages on here, they actually come on here also. I guess that's a good thing, because if something is wrong with this one, then I have this one, or if something's wrong with this one, I have this one. So that's cool to know. But yes, like I said, I do not have trouble with the eSIMs. I feel like it's actually better for me, because now I don't have to worry about taking my SIMs out of iPhone every time I upgrade to another iPhone. All I have to do is connect my iPhones together, and boom, just like that, I have access. And that's another thing that I want to talk about. I am so glad that Apple made it easy for you to switch to another Apple device, because all you have to do is just put your devices together, almost like what you would do on Android, but now you can do it on Apple. You would put your devices together, and then you will get a little notification saying that they found the iPhone nearby, and then it will transfer everything, because back then you would have to get into iTunes and do all of this and do all of that, and that was a big headache. I haven't really had a time to check out and test out the cameras on this device yet, so as soon as I do that, then we can do a camera comparison, because I do plan on doing some videos comparing these two devices. Even though this is a 2-year-old device and this is brand new, I can still do it because it's still an iPhone, and I still have the 13 Pro Max, and I will have it for a long time coming. I just need to get the battery replaced in this, and then I'll be good to go. But overall, my time with the iPhone 15 Pro Max has been nothing but good. I really don't have any bad, false things to say about it, because an iPhone is an iPhone, and if you've used the iPhone before like I have, you know what to expect and what not to expect. But I can say one bummer that I do not really care for about this iPhone 15 Pro Max is that it does not give you enough access for the dynamic islands, and I wish it would. I wish my text messages could come through on here. I wish I had more access to different kind of apps that will actually work with the dynamic islands. I know your music will, and then there's a few other apps that will, but I want to be able to get my text messages to come through here instead of coming through as a banner. Why can't they come through for the dynamic islands? I feel like Apple needs to refine that just a tad bit more, because with the notch, okay, the notch was just there. Okay, we get it. We didn't want the notch, but when we got the notch, it was just there. Now we have the dynamic islands, and it's almost like it's useless. You can use it in some cases, but then in some cases you can't. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want everything coming through my dynamic island notification. As you can see, it's just hanging out right there. It does look nice though. I can say I do like the look of having the dynamic island a lot better than having a big notch. Let me see if I can go to a screen with the notch. To me, the dynamic island looks a tad bit better, but that's just me and my thoughts and what I prefer. To each his own. But I just wanted to make this video. Maybe you're out there thinking about upgrading to an iPhone 15 Pro Max if you haven't already, and you just want some more information about it. Do I enjoy my time with it? Yes, I do. Like I said, I've had an iPhone. I'm used to iPhones. I'll keep an iPhone in my rotation always and forever now. But if you're a person that's not into all of this, you don't care about having the titanium build, you don't care about having the dynamic islands, you don't care about having just the you don't care about having USB Type-C, you don't care about having eSIMs. If you don't want those things, then I would say stick with your iPhone 13 Pro Max or even the 14, but the 14 Pro Max has dynamic islands. But if you're someone out there and you just want the new stuff that Apple has to offer, then I plan you to move on to the 15 Pro Max. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out.